You know, it would help if we grabbed the pie crust out of the... All right, let's bring the chilled milk. Chilled milk. Does that look like chilled milk? All right, let's bring the chilled flour, butter, baking soda. Nope. Along with a little bit of cold milk, whole milk. Whole cold milk. Say that 3 times fast. Yeah. Good morning. Hey, 24 hours later and we're ready to proceed. I want to welcome you guys back. I've gone through the comments a second time and well, I think I've come up with 2 items. Can you guess what they are? Hey, be honest with me guys. How many of you guys done this? Exactly what I just did about 2 minutes ago. I sat here talking about these pie plates and the ramekins over here and various different things and thought it was going really good and smooth, and all of a sudden I noticed a little red light wasn't on. You know, that happens to be quite often, and it seems like some of my better stuff is done off camera. But anyways, hey, if that's happened to you, put it down in the comments down and give me your story. Give me your best story of recording something and thinking you've done a great job and it never got captured. But anyways, we got a pie plate, 3 ramekins here. You guessed it, we're gonna have apple pie. I'm gonna make 3 individual apple crisp at the same time. So let's get cracking. Let me go grab the bowl of apples, bring them over here and see how they've been setting, and let's see how we did with these things. As you remember, I'll kind of recap. We roughly chopped and peeled and decored these apples. Threw about a half a cup of sugar on them, a little bit of cinnamon and nutmeg, and we've been letting them set for about 24 hours. Wow, if you could smell that nice apple aroma and the spices. We're going to give this a little bit of a stir. All right, we're going to dump these in here in the strainer, colander, whatever you want to call it. And make sure we scrape out all that goodness. Still want to cover these. I don't want dust, or I don't know about you guys. We got 2 golden retrievers here, and well, should I say that well, every once in a while you're cooking and you might just find a, well, you know what I mean. We're gonna set that over here to let it drain. All right guys, super simple here. I have 3 cups of flour, a little bit of salt, about a half a teaspoon of baking powder. Yes, you heard me right, baking powder. And I'll explain that just a little bit later. And a full cup of butter. And this is all chilled. In fact, I'm going to take this and put this back in the fridge in about 2 seconds. And that is for the pie crust, of course. And then we have a half a cup of butter, a half a cup of packed brown sugar, a cup and a quarter of flour with a little bit of salt. And we'll be making that first. So, all right, guys, let's let's bring our attention back to the apples here. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, here we go. We have got a good cup and a quarter, I would say, of nice pure apple juice. Well, I'd say apple juice. It's the drippings, the flavors and stuff that have been pulled out of the apples from the sugar. All right, that's done exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to take those apples, pull some of the moisture out. Hey, we're not going to lose that moisture. Don't get ahead of me now. Pull some of that moisture out, which firms the apples up a little bit. We're going to take these drippings and we're going to head on over the stove. I'm going to bring it up to temp. All right, we got this up to a rolling boil. We're going to turn it down just a little bit. We do want it to cook for a little bit. Like I say, it's hard to tell just how much of that tapioca has dissolved and gotten down in there. But you got pure sugars from the apples themselves, and then you have the sugar that you put in. Basically what I'm going to do in a nutshell here, because I know you can't see very well, it's awful steamy and whatnot. I'm going to bring this down to a little bit more than, we'll say, a maple syrup. All right, we boiled that down, and it went all the way down to half a cup. Not quite as thick as I wanted it, but hey, if I wanted to thicken up a little bit more, if I was doing something specific with it, I'd throw in a little bit more of arrowroot or cornstarch or clear gel or some kind of thickener to thicken up a little bit, but I really don't need that. I just wanted to get a lot of the water content out of it. So, yeah, we'll get the rest of that out of there in a second. But I can dump this right over the top of it. The apples will cool that off. And I'm going to cover it right back up. Bring it to room temperature anyways, as we're ready for it. Okay guys, I'm scooping some of this filling out into these ramekins first to make sure I have enough. I'm pretty sure I do, but you know how that goes. I don't want to run short, and this stuff bubbles up in pretty good shape. I think that is going to be plenty there, and we're going to cover this up over there, and we will go on to the pie crust. All right, let's take this cold flour, chilled butter, salt, and a little bit of baking powder in here, along with some iced down cold whole milk. We're going to work this into the flour, kind of cut it in like they say. I've got it kind of pushed up on this thing right now. I'm going to push it out while it is nice and firm still. All right, what I'm doing basically is I'm cutting this shortening or butter or whatever you're going to be using. This happens to be butter here, but whatever fat you're going to use. In pastries, and especially pie crust, you can use, I love a good lard. Believe it or not, that's nice flavor to it, but butter, the reason why I'm using butter on this, it's, well, my daughter-in-law's favorite, so we're going to go there. What we're looking for is just kind of a rough pea-shaped. They make a tool that actually cuts this in, but I'm kind of from the old school, and I don't like a tool that basically just does one thing. I mean, this Whiskin does many things, and it cuts flours, shortenings, and fats into flours very, very well. Can you tell that's kind of pea size and whatnot? I'm going to start working that cold milk into it now. Now we're going to make sure none of this ice goes in there, although it wouldn't hurt. Dump a little in there. Don't ask me how much. Just add it slow, because, you know, it don't come out easy. Okay, I can already tell we're going to need a little bit more. Like I said, just work it in slow. If it starts to puddle up on you, work more stuff into it. Do not overwork the flour. The whole idea of a crust is you're trying to keep the fat molecules, or the pieces of fat in layman's terms, still kind of crumbly in there. You don't want to kind of mix it and make a paste out of it. It's better to have it a hair bit loose and break apart on you. You can always glue it, push it together, than it is to have it wet. The reason why I put the baking powder in it, I like a crust that's tender, but I'm not really crazy over flakiness that flakes apart and stuff. I like a tender crust, but I like it more what I call the shortbread side. It puffs up just a little bit, and it's nice and tender and everything, but it, well, it doesn't flake all apart, and it browns a little more evenly too for you. Yeah, it's still kind of crumbly, but yet you pick it up. See, it starts to go together as a dough. That's just about how you want it. Okay, probably would have helped to get camera back on there with a good battery in it. Seemed I ran out of battery. Anyways, what I did was I took my dough right here. It's all nice and mixed. It's all firm. Put it in plastic containers. Okay, we're gonna pop these in the fridge. All right, let's throw this topping together. There again, if you remember, we got a half a cup of brown sugar, a little bit of salt, and a cup and a quarter, I do believe, of flour. Just gonna break that flour and sugar up a little bit. Then we have a half a cup of butter. We'll mix that in there. Okay, again, cold milk. You're looking for some crumbly, doughy kind of mixture. Basically, we're looking for kind of a wet dough, but you want because you want to be able to crumble this. I shouldn't say crumble it. You want to, man, it's hard to explain exactly what you want to be able to take this through your fingers and just kind of blob pieces on it. It's probably my favorite type of topping. I might have got a hair bit too much milk in it, but I don't think so. You want to be able to do that with it. You want to be able to, you know, put little globs on it, it'll flatten out and kind of spread out. What I like to do is take a fork and I just run it through that stuff, kind of picking some stuff up and shredding it. And all I'm looking for is some little droplets. You remember, this is going to crisp up and it's also going to flatten out a little bit. It's not your typical crisp that you're going to, man. I also have some cinnamon and sugar here. Like I said, we didn't put a lot of sugar in those apples. They are sweet, but I think we're going to put just a little bit of cinnamon and sugar on top. We will call that good. Okay. Try to keep as little as flour in it as possible. Okay. Remember, you start with a circle. Try to end with a circle. I can already tell it's going to crack in pretty good shape for me, but hey, you got to work with what you have. Like I said, I left that in that bowl about, I should have just wound it up and covered it when I was getting real busy. But, you know, work with it kind of slow. Center on out. Now the one thing about this stuff, you know, it's not always pretty, but you can glue this stuff together. Like I say, this stuff is pretty forgiving. You can pretty much glue it. Just gotta be careful with it. Alright, now it's just a matter of pressing it in place. Make sure you don't leave the corners down in there hollow, because yeah, that doesn't work out too good. Okay, do we get enough but you want to make sure you just got enough to work with to lock this all up. I think we do. Let's stick that over there. Scrape this down a little bit. Bring this filling over. Get this in here. So you won't take it all. Get all that nice goodness out of the bottom there. Whoa, got an escapee over here. Call the Apple Police. Got an escapee, he's trying to peel out of here. Okay. Don't be afraid to get your hands in there. As Julia Child says, when you're cooking, always have impeccable clean hands. Alright, let me get my hands cleaned up. Before I forget it, I'm gonna throw just a touch more. I tasted the apples, and they still got a little tart to them. You don't want to be overly sweet, but I do like a, you know, sweet enough pie. Okay, let's stick that over there. Let's get this dough out. I'm hoping this one rolls out a little better. But when you get egg customers, people coming to your door, phone ringing, you know, I really commend you guys out there that, well, do a lot of these videos, and, you know, almost all cooking videos. Well, Rain Country comes to mind, and Linda's Pantry, and all kinds of various different shows. That show, one of my favorites is Booger's show there. She does everything in the air fryer. And I mean everything in the air fryer, you know. Try to go from the middle out. Not looking bad. Let's try that over here. Let's try to get that on there without breaking it up too much. Well, look at that nice rip right there, but hey, that's homemade for you. We'll fix her right up. We get done with this thing, you'll never know. It'll never know what hit it. We will see. Whoa. Accident. Yeah, we'll fix that right up in a second. Okay, take an O-ring. Make it oval just a little bit because apples aren't completely round. Kind of push it down in there, cut it. Get that on there like so. Close enough. That's what I always say. Whoa. Got a runaway stem. All we're going to do is kind of push and roll, push and roll. This particular pie plate has got a edge on it. So we're going to fold, roll, push, fold, roll, push, fold, roll, and squeeze, push, twist, turn, whatever you can do to get it there. In fact, I think we're going to have to use a little bit right there. Turn, twist. There we go. Push it down in that groove. Pull it back up in. Alright, let's flute it. We'll be done with it. Flute her up. Spend all day with this. I could smooth this out a little bit with the milk brush. Kind of like professional painters there. They can make all their mistakes go away with a little bit of caulking and a little bit of paint. Basically. All right. Let's get a brush. And I just put some milk around the edges. Any place that I did a little glue in. Okay. Throw a little of this milk on the pastry itself. Over the apple, kind of blend it in. A little bit of cinnamon sugar. Done. Fini. Let's see if we can't get these. Well, all right, guys. There's my version of an apple pie and a couple single serving, well, for if you're hungry, single serving, I guess, apple crisp. We're going to dig into one of those apple crisp. I took those out before the pie. The pie is still really hot, and if I cut into that, I know it's going to go all over the place. But, hey, let me get comfortable in one of the seats there, get a little ice cream out, and, hey, we might tackle one of those apple crisps there. All right, we got to dig into this, guys. I'll tell you, I have to admit, I've already had a bite. The crisp is very crisp. You hear it? Get a piece of this crisp here. That is excellent, guys. Excellent. Well, I know I ain't the best cook in the world, guys. But I try to piece together as much as I could of that. I was, well, between egg customers, phone ringing, and people coming and going, you know, you try to put something like that together and you're always getting interrupted. And I want to tell you, the crisp alone is worth it. Hey, if you like this kind of video, don't be afraid to hit that old thumbs up button there. I mean, it's not going to hurt you. You're not going to push that and it's going to zap you or anything. Hit that thumbs up, or, hey, if you didn't care for it, hit the thumbs down. But leave a comment down below one way or another anyways. That's very, very important for all our channels here. But anyways, hey, until next time, guys, wherever you are in your neck of the woods, be it morning, noon, or night, I hope you're all having a great one. Take care now. God bless. I'm going to finish this up. You want some?